Chapter 542. But it's impossible to truly be indifferent about it. Even after finishing breakfast and discussing with Kishir on ways to treat the Emperor, as a continuation of yesterday's conversation, thoughts about dream sharing continually occupied a corner of Yudhir's mind. Could the dream Kishir had be exactly the same as mine? The memories were faint, so it was hard to say for sure. But what mattered was that it wasn't the first time he had received information from a past life through a dream. Previously, when Kishir had sleep-talked the name Yudhirian, he couldn't remember anything. But this time, he retained some memories. What would happen the next time something like this occurred? As the connection deepens and becomes more frequent, will such incidents increase as well? Although it was still unclear, his thoughts were complicated. As Yudhir pondered over the ambiguous issues, a servant approached to clear away the empty plates and set down a new plate of pumpkin pie. It was already the fourth pie. The pies weren't tasteless, but how many had they baked to keep serving them endlessly? While eating the new pie and contemplating this minor question, Kishir suddenly narrowed his eyes as he read a note handed to him by the servant. Oh dear. What's the matter? The Emperor says that meeting him again today will be difficult. We have been instructed to return and see him again in 3 days. Considering the Emperor's health, they couldn't afford to waste time. Yet, treatments needed to be carried out according to the will of the patient. The sudden change in plans likely meant that the Emperor's side also required some preparation time. 3 days should be sufficient. It might be beneficial to gather more information in the meantime. Coincidentally, after yesterday's experience, he was curious about the difference between a person who had the red stone energy within them but hadn't awakened and a normal person. It seemed like a good idea to look into it. How long has it been, Yudhir? Yudhir exchanged greetings with Alec, the apprentice of Thais Yulman, in the Mage's lab he hadn't visited in quite some time. Since Thais Yulman had conducted the most research on the power of the red stone, it was only natural for Yudhir to seek him out. Ah, should I refer to you as Baron Ale now? No, calling me as you always have is sufficient. Is Master Yulman in? My master is currently out but will return soon. Why don't you wait here? As Yudhir waited, Alec, who was quite affable, chatted about various topics. I heard you have made significant contributions in the West. I also heard you were injured. Are you all right now? Yes, as you can see, I'm quite well now. Alec prattled on about how quiet it had been since most of the cavalry members had gone to the west, and how his ability to summon water had improved under his master's strict tutelage. Then his eyes gleamed and he lowered his voice cautiously. By the way, that thing the cavalry members discovered in the Great Serene Forest. Was it really that? Although he hadn't specified what that was, there was only one thing a mage would be excited enough to discuss. Yudhir stared at Alec's eager face and responded. Are you talking about the ruins discovered in the Great Serene Forest? Yes, exactly that. Alec took a deep, excited breath. Because of that, there had been quite a commotion among the mages lately. However, it's hard to get reliable information around here. I was going to ask the new mage who just arrived, but you need to know where they are to ask them, don't you? The new mage in question was Helm, but she hadn't been back since she returned from the west and the entire cavalry members took on vacation. It made sense that they hadn't met. It was likely that one of the buildings Emperor Kelusa had awarded would be converted into a monster-specific lab for her. So, chances were they would only meet after that. But there is no need to go into such detail. Is it true that if you receive concentrated ancient magic from that place, anyone can use magic much more powerful than before? Is there really a mysterious treasure left by the Archmage? They say that the magic stone found there has unknown powers. Is that true? The rapid-fire questions seemed endless. It appeared that the previous pleasantries were just a lead in for these inquiries. Either sidestepped the questions with as much tact and ambiguity as possible. Well, it seems some exaggerated rumors have taken hold. I'm not well versed in magic, so I can't provide a detailed answer. Come on, don't be like that. Just tell me a bit. Is it really that? Alec? Where has that Alec gone again? Fortunately, before Yudir could be pestered further by the young mage, a savior appeared. Alec reflexively stood up, muttering, "My master is here," with a disappointed look on his face. Yudir exited with him toward the lab entrance, but Thais Yulman, whom they had finally met, was not alone. Seeing the aged mage supporting someone who appeared to have fainted, Alec's face changed dramatically. "Master, who is that person? He's not dead, is he? Surely you didn't." "What nonsense are you talking about? I met someone I know on the way. He fainted after hitting his head, so I bought him. Move him over there. He seems to have a lump. Check it." "Oh, right, of course." Alec hastily took the limp body from his master. My shoulders are killing me." Who is this?" The aged mage massaged his shoulders, finally noticed Yudhir, and widened his eyes. "Ha! Long time no see, Yudhir." While Thais Yulman greeted Yudhir warmly, Yudhir did not reciprocate. He was distracted by the person Alec was moving. The back of the man's head looked strangely familiar. And when the man's face was finally revealed as he lay on the sofa, Yudhir immediately knew the source of his unease. "Is that not Micklin Punt?" "Correct. You two met in the West, didn't you?" The man Thais Yulman had bought was none other than the head of the Western Mage Union, Micklin Punt. As Yudhir frowned, puzzled as to why he would be in such a state, the old mage, who had removed his coat, began to explain. "Well, I had to pick up some items from the Pearl Tower, you see. On my way back, I ran into this guy. Turns out he was planning to visit the cavalry members today. So, since I'm staying with the cavalry, I offered to guide him. For some reason, he got angry and made a fuss, then tripped and ended up like this. No gratitude." "Ah, so that's how it was." Yudhir had a feeling that hearing Mikullin's side of the story would offer a different perspective, but he decided not to probe any further. He would find out soon enough once Mikullin regained consciousness. "And what brings you all the way here? Curious about the progress of my research?" "Yes, that too. I also wanted to hear your opinions on the incidents I faced in the West, and I wanted to express my gratitude for the letter you sent me before leaving." Since he couldn't discuss matters related to the Emperor in front of Mikullin, an outsider, Yudhir decided to use the experiences he had in the West as a pretext to bait the conversation. After all, there were a few things he needed to tell Mikullin among those experiences. Weaving the necessary discussions in between wouldn't be difficult. I have already heard from Mikullin that my advice was of help. You did well to heed my words." Thais Yulman stroked his beard with a delighted expression and chuckled. He was blissfully unaware of how much resentment Mikullin had expressed towards him after reading that letter, and he would continue to remain in the dark. If only the Duke, the commander, would appreciate my efforts and provide additional support for my research. I heard he promised substantial aid to the Western Mage Union. How envious that makes me. While expressing envy for the support promised to the Western Mage Union, the old mage's hungry gaze was constantly directed at Yudhir. Naturally, the real support he wanted was permission to observe Yudhir. "If there is specific support you would like, please inform the commander. As long as it's not unreasonable, he will likely comply." No, not yet. I'm not that careless with my own life, you know." With a disappointed tongue click, Thais Yulman sunk deeper into the chair. Anyway, what did you want to discuss with me?" "When we met last time, you had discovered that a medium imbued with the power of the red stone could amplify an awakener's abilities. You also speculated that, conversely, an awakener could absorb the power within the medium. Do you remember? I did say that. Amplification had been proven through the body of Thais Ullman's apprentice, Alec, but absorption remained an unverified hypothesis. However, it appears that I managed to achieve that absorption in the West. What? The old mage leaped up, then sat back down. A flicker of what seemed like madness, mixed with keen interest and excitement, flashed through his wrinkled eyes. What do you mean? Explain in detail,